taking your audience questions. If you have a question for us, email us, davidpakman.com. Click on Contact Us. You can also leave your question as a voicemail. Just call our number, 219-2-DAVID-P, and then we'll answer it. G-Man wants to know, so Pakman Crew, what do you think is the meaning of the American dream? I read a lot of articles saying that the American dream is dead or has changed. What's your opinion? I've talked about this a little bit on the show. I believe that the broad idea of the American dream, that people can better themselves, that you can be better off than your parents and their parents, and this kind of idea of constant betterment, improvement, and ascension among the socioeconomic ladder, I don't disagree that that's a good thing. In fact, I think it is a good thing. I think for many people it's a useful motivator, and that in a vacuum, it's a very good thing. The problem I see is that the idea of the American dream being taken to the full, to the kind of Mitt Romney level, the possibility of that leads a lot of people to not act in their best interest politically in the United States. So, for example, if you talk to so many people who support lower taxes, in fact, the Tea Party movement was a really good example of this. You had people that supported lower taxes and lower taxes for the very rich, and a whole other host of policies that reduce social services, et cetera, for people in their income brackets, that was predicated, at least in part, on the idea that by being part of the so-called American dream, someday they too would be very rich and would benefit from these policies that they were supporting. The reality is that the possibility of someone being at that level and benefiting from those policies that they now are advocating for, statistically speaking, is very low. It's not a thing of shattering people's dreams. Some people will get very rich. Some people will benefit from the policies geared towards the top 1% in the future. That's not untrue. But statistically speaking, the idea that people someday too will be as rich as whoever it is they have in mind gets people to act in a way that is not actually in their own best interest, and statistically speaking, never will be. And that's where I think these ideas of the American dream have been not beneficial to many people.
Yeah, I think a lot of people obviously dream about getting rich, but most people are pretty realistic about it. And like you said, the American dream is really just improving your quality of life, getting to a comfortable level. And, of course, the details are completely subjective.
Right.
But overall, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the idea of the bettering and improving, I think that's fantastic. There are very specific influencers in society that want you to be thinking of that Mitt Romney level of the American dream, as some people would say. And I actually would disagree that the American dream is to get so rich that you start a company that destroys other companies and destroys jobs. But putting that aside, this kind of caricature of the American dream, there are many people who want you to think that you can achieve that so that you will favor policies that realistically will just benefit them and won't ever actually benefit you. Don't you think, Natan?
Yeah, and the Democratic Party platform since FDR has been based on the idea that the government has a role in leveling the playing field and making it more possible for people to actually access that American dream.
Right.
So this idea that the right has co-opted or monopolized what the meaning of the American dream is true, but it's also important to recognize that it's never been the case in this country that the government hasn't played a role in creating that opportunity as well.
All right, keep the questions coming, 219-2-DAVID-P, or submit them via voicemail, email, davidpakman.com. Click on Contact Us, send us an email. We will keep answering them.